I think we can all agree that integrity and accountability are important when it comes to SNAP and other benefits, whether it's a fraud, criminal activity, or state activity or state issues that cause this type of fraud or criminal activity. We all want to understand why and how we can do better. We want to make sure that it's mitigated. Ms. Royale, I'm going to address this question to you. Can you flesh out some of your ideas to help mitigate some of these issues?
Sure. Identity verification on the front end of an application would be very, very important. I discussed very briefly.
Can you please expand on that? Because we heard that they do have to show their social security card. What do you mean by identity verification specifically?
The ability to leverage technology to verify that when somebody presents themselves, that they're actually who they say they are, that their social security number belongs to them, that they are eligible to receive benefits, meeting all of the different criteria, that they're not receiving benefits in duplicate states at one time, to verify that members that they have listed in their household exist, to verify perhaps people who are not listed on the application do live in the household. So being able to leverage technology to help that verification process would be very significant. I mentioned increasing the retention amount. It seems to be a really simple way to do that. So in previous years, the retention amount from the dollars that states recovered from overpaid benefits was 50%. That has been reduced down to 30% in fraud claim, or 35% in fraud claims. But increasing that back up to 50% would provide the funding that would allow states to purchase and be able to access that type of technology. Tying that money, making sure that those retention dollars are mandated to be used for the prevention, detection, and prosecution of fraud. In many states, that retention money goes into the general fund and is used elsewhere. So the benefit, or the fraud units don't have the benefit of that money.
So let me ask you something. Right now, as it stands, does the system allow for you to check with multiple states to see if there are benefits, or is it just at the word of the beneficiary of these programs?
We don't have a way to check. So there are states that still utilize or still have access to the original NAC project. I believe there's 6. So the rest of the states, we have to rely on that self-declaration in an application that a recipient has received benefits in another state. And when they provide that information, then the issuing state can contact the previous state and make sure that, again, dual issuance isn't a problem. But it's also a problem when people intentionally omit the answer to that because they want to receive benefits in multiple states. And then our hands are tied. We don't have a mechanism to find that type of false statement.
So as I'm hearing, it is really just a self-declaration. That's the only way to find out if someone is receiving benefits in multiple states.
For the most part, yes, that's correct.
Typically, people who are intentionally trying to take advantage of the situation won't self-declare that, I imagine. Moving forward, these retention dollars, you said that it was reduced from 50% to 30%. When was that reduced?
35%.
35%.
It's in the footnotes in our written testimony. I don't recall the specific year. Mm-hmm. But again, not only was it reduced, but there are no mandates of how the money is used.
So what I'm hearing is increasing it back up to the 50%, but also giving mandates as to where that money is used once it is recovered.
Right, and I think it's really important to say that 50% has to do with fraud claims. So the state does the fraud investigation. They prove that it's a fraud, that fraud has occurred, a false statement has occurred. They establish the claim, they collect that claim, and then the money that they collect, they split with USDA. So again, we're recommending that we have a 50-50 split and that there's a mandate that the $50 or the 50% that we recover be used for the prevention, detection, and prosecution of fraud.
Thank you very much. With that, I yield back.